Hi, this is Polly from thefitmumformula.com, and this week I was asked, should I put a limit on the amount of vegetables I eat? Now, obviously when you're watching what you eat and you're trying to lose weight, you're having to be more mindful of what you're eating, but does that mean you should be limiting how many vegetables you eat? Well, personally, I do not like to put a limit on the amount of vegetables that my clients eat, and here's why. Vegetables are one of the most nutritious foods. They are so full of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, polyphenols, all this good stuff that is so healthy for us and benefits our bodies in so many ways. But many people are actually lacking in it, and that's various reasons. Maybe they've just got a poor diet overall, but also the more vegetables are commercially produced and mass produced, the more the soil they're grown in gets depleted, and then they end up staying in storage in supermarkets for ages, and they're not as nutritious as they were hundreds of years ago anyway. So that's even more reason to eat more of them, so that you're still getting lots of those great nutrients. They're also very low in calories, so even if you were to eat quite a lot, it's going to be quite hard to push above your calorie limit for the day, because if you could eat 4,000 calories of apples and broccoli, but that'll be extremely difficult because that's a lot of food, more than most people would be able to eat. You just wouldn't do it. So it's going to be very hard to eat too many calories of vegetables anyway. They're high in water, which again makes them really filling without adding any calories, because water's got no calories in it. And water helps keep you hydrated as well. And they're really high in fibre. Fibre is great for your gut and digestive health, and it also makes you feel really full, which again, for somebody wanting to lose weight and eat less, feeling full is a really useful thing. So if that's why for my clients, I do not put a restriction on vegetables. In fact, I encourage them to have at least half a plate of vegetables, so that whatever else is going on in the rest of the meal, and we do try and make sure that's good too, whatever else is going on in the meal, if half the plate is vegetables, chances are it's going to be fairly high in nutrition, and it's not going to be too high calorie a meal overall. And we want to be encouraging you to eat more vegetables to fill up, so that you don't feel hungry and then get tempted by biscuits and ice cream and all the other things afterwards. You're much better eating more vegetables, going for second or even third helpings, and making sure you stay full for as long as possible. Now, if you are somebody who strictly counts every calorie and macronutrients being proteins, carbohydrates and fats, then, and some people do that, if you've got very particular or strict nutritional guidelines you need to stick to, perhaps it's something that bodybuilders do and bikini athletes when they're coming up to a show, you do need to be so on point with those numbers that when you're tracking your food, you will need to take into account those vegetables, because vegetables do still have carbohydrates in, and they've got a lot less carbohydrates than things like pasta and root veggies like potatoes, but they still have some in, and they still do have some calories. So if you're on a very strict meal plan where you need to be very on point with those numbers, then the vegetables and the fruit and the salads you eat do count. And especially when it comes to fruit and slightly starchy vegetables like squash and beetroots, because they do have slightly more in than your green vegetables like your spinach and broccoli. But for most people who are just looking to lose a little bit of weight, feel better in themselves, have more energy, and generally eat more overall, I cannot see any logical reason to restrict what are one of the most nutritious, healthy and low-calorie foods on the planet. So my view is eat all the vegetables you want. Eat as many vegetables as possible. I think the guidelines for 5 a day are far too low, and it's really great to see that actually the health advisors in the UK are moving more towards what they're saying in other parts of the world, but saying actually closer to 10 portions a day is much, much better than 5. I certainly reach my 10 a day, and if you need some help on ideas of how to do that, please do drop me a line, polly@thefitmumformula.com, and I'll give you some ideas. It's not nearly as hard as you think. I hope that's been helpful. Please do comment below or tag a friend or share this video if you think it's been helpful. Thank you very much for watching. Polly from thefitmumformula.com.